All right, everyone. So, last class, we got into the basics of creating web pages. Now, we learned how to write very basic HTML or basic hypertext markup language. Okay. And we went through how to add tags, like how to make something bold with the strong tag, and we, learn how to structure a basic web page using the HTML and head section and body section. And we're going to go over that again in the next session, though. We're going to take a one-day detour because the next thing we're going to learn with web development is how to incorporate media like images, like a photograph or a digital image or a vector image. And so we're just going to talk a little bit about the basics of raster and vector graphics today. Some of you may have experience with this with other classes here at Chabot or elsewhere. Some of you maybe not. So that's kind of why I'm just going to spend a little time to talk about it, just so that we're all kind of on the same page, at least of the basics of how to do raster and vector graphics. If you're interested, so this is just going to be like a one-day session. So I'm not going to go super in depth, really. There's only so much I can cover in a one-day session, covering basically two major, applications, but we'll cover the basics. If you want to learn more, I strongly recommend you take other classes here at Chabot in the digital media department. DIGM 4A, which I'm actually teaching this semester, is a digital illustration. This would be a really good class for going more in depth with vector graphics. And DIGM 8, photo editing, I think, or photo manipulation. This is a good class for learning the basics of Adobe Photoshop. Now, so this class, we're going to cover the basics of photo editing and vector graphics. We're not going to use Adobe Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator, mostly because those are paid programs. If you have access to them, you're more than welcome to use them in this course. I just don't try to for these online classes where people don't necessarily have access to the lab, I try to use free software. And Adobe software is not defaultly free. So that's why I'm not using them. You're welcome to use them if you want to. That's perfectly fine. But that's the reason why I'm not going to use them for this course. I have some files for you guys. Like with the last session, basically, go to the module, click where it says download. It'll download as a zip file, something that looks roughly like this. On a Mac, simply just double click on it to unzip it. If you're on a Windows machine, you want to it's not going to show it because this is Mac OS X, it's not the Windows interface here. But it would say something like extract all. Or you would say there would be an option that says send to, and you go to an option that says extract all. And you'd want to extract the folder to the computer, essentially. Okay. When you're done, you should have something that roughly kind of looks like this. All right. So, as I mentioned, we're going to talk about preparing images for web design. Okay. And we can kind of break down these images and illustrations into two major categories. One is called a raster photo or a raster image, and the other is a vector image. Okay, we're going to start with raster graphics. By the way, there's also slides if you want to follow along. So we're going to start with raster graphics, and we are going to be using, the program Photopea. Okay, you can click here or literally just go to photopea.com. Okay, what's nice about this particular program, Photopea, so Photopea is a raster image, a raster editing software. Okay, so it's similar to Adobe Photoshop, GIMP. If you've ever used GIMP, that's actually the symbol for GIMP right there. Clip Studio Pro, I know that's another popular one that students like. So this is kind of similar to any of those. What I like about it and why I use it for teaching is it's free, and it's also browser-based, so you actually don't even have to install anything. Literally, if you just go to photopea.com, it's a built-in application, kind of like the way a Gmail or a Facebook, you don't have to actually you don't have to install the app on your computer. You can literally just run it through the browser. So this will work on any computer that has an internet connection, basically. Okay. So why don't you get into there, and then the next video we're going to start talking about using Photopea to download and edit images.